In this week's edition, Richard Combellack gives his views on how to use the brieflymarket.com platform to generate referrals from your reviews, tackle Brexit and bolster the potential loss of revenue from the upcoming tenant fee ban. Richard, the Property Industry Eye recently reported that Purple Bricks hit an almost perfect score on FIFO. How influential can reviews be for agents and how can they use them to win more business?
Me personally, I think reviews are exceedingly important in this day and age, especially amongst the younger generations who are more and more increasingly becoming the house buyers and sellers now. The reason I think they're important is they go to them and they use them for reference before they make choices as to transactions that they want to undertake. Google reviews especially I think are really important because if you, for instance, search estate agencies in Derby, what comes up but a load of reviews straight away. This agency is rated 4-star, 5-star, etc. So I think they're exceedingly important in terms of how we could assist and help people with reviews. I think you would set up triggered surveys to go out at key points during a transaction process, be that tenant check-in, tenant check-out, post-market appraisal, post-instruction, basically at points where the customer's either elated or they've got something to vent. I would then recommend setting up a survey whereby if the customer goes down and wants to vent, they vent on this survey and it comes back to you so you can handle it and look after it. If they go down a positive route, it asks them, would you mind leaving us a Google review or a FIFO review, etc., and directs them off to those review sites. I think that's a great way of using reviews. Google reviews are especially important because they also help with your search engine ranking of where you appear. So when you do estate agencies in Derby, it will affect where you appear in the ranking there. But a lot of people are using things like FIFO reviews for professionalism, etc. now, and they can also appear on your website. And I do know that they have an API that allows them to appear in Google as well.
Very nice, thank you. Rich, Estate Agent Today recently gave their view on the industry for 2019 with Brexit and the tenant fee ban featuring heavily. So what kind of campaigns can agents do to combat these issues?
Okay, Brexit, very difficult one because nobody really knows what's going to happen with Brexit. You can make assumptions. At the end of the day, it will be a supply and demand equation. So if they sort of close the barriers to people coming in and buying properties over here, or if that happens, then obviously there's less demand, but you've still got supply. So in that respect, you could say now's a good time as any to sell. So you could do a campaign that actually says, great time to sell ahead of Brexit. If house prices are rising in that particular area, you could say house prices have risen by 5%, best time to sell ahead of Brexit. Cash in on your investment. So you could do campaigns like that around Brexit, but it's an unknown as to what really is going to happen with Brexit. So it'd be a decision for the agent to make as to whether or not they wanted to go down that route with a campaign like that. But you can always do things like that. In terms of the tenant fee ban, though, I think most people know what's going to happen with that. It's going to be banned, and essentially that's going to affect businesses. And most businesses that have lettings in their business are going to be affected to the tune of about 20%. 20% turnover is normally accounted for by way of tenancy fee income. 20% income to a business. Typically, a business would make 20% margin. That typically wipes out their margin. So it's going to be a difficult problem for them. The way I would address that is I would try and monetize every single piece of data landing in your database. I'd look at ancillary services and say, how can I monetize my data even more to replace the income that's lost? Things like mortgages, conveyancing, do campaigns around them during a customer journey so that you're cross-selling those, even media and utilities. And don't think on these as that you're hard selling these. These are things that are going to help the customer at the end of the day. If you were a tenant and you're moving into a property, of course you're going to need media, you're going to need utilities setting up in your name, etc. If you're buying a house, you're going to need a mortgage, you're going to need conveyancing. So the more you tell people about these services, the better. And the earlier you tell them, the better, because otherwise somebody else might tell them about the services. So get in there early and put them as part of a customer journey using the triggers or doing campaigns out to people on those.
Amazing. Thanks, Rich. If you'd like to discuss how to implement campaigns that Richard has discussed, please do contact our customer success team on 0344 800 8424 for more information. Thank you.